Hello, my friends. Happy Mother's Day. I wanted to come on, and the title should tell you a little bit that I'm not only going to be talking about how wonderful I want, of course, all of you that are wonderful mothers. I just want you to have a great day today. You need to be waited on hand and foot, especially if you're in charge of the schooling for your children and all the other stuff that you do on a daily basis. This because it's been rough the last couple of weeks for many of us. I'm a single dad, so I feel your pain. But there's something special about mothers, right? This incredible human being that has the ability to give birth, and they go through so many changes chemically and physically, and then the amount of love that many mothers have for their children is just beyond. It's a miracle, and it's an amazing feat for all of us. Hello, guys. I got people coming on right now, and so it's complicated, and I want to make sure because I'm gonna divide this show into a couple parts. One is hey, don't forget these other types of people that have to deal with Mother's Day, and then all of you that are fantastic mothers. And I have a poem that I'm going to read later on that I found that seems to just fit. It was written by a male. A son, and I thought it was appropriate that that maybe come from me than me reading some other poem written by somebody else. So, but it touched all the things that make a mother so wonderful. However, there's some of us that have had bad luck on the mother side of things, and so it's not that my mother was horrible. So I wasn't abused by my mom or anything like that. It's just in our household, love was not the strongest point for our family. As a matter of fact, the three words "I love you" was fairly rare. For me, for whatever reason, I can't remember a time where it was a heartfelt "Hey, I love you" hug and good night and that kind of stuff. That's just not the way that our family was built. And so that either shaped me one way or another. I know for sure that somehow it shaped me to be just the opposite, where I tell each of my children when I see them, I love them. When they go away, I love them. And throughout the day, there's a hug and a kiss and an I love you, just to remind them. There's even an I love you, especially when I'm getting ready to punish them. Right? I usually start with, first of all, understand that I love you more than anything on this planet, and this is the reason why we need to do and talk about this thing. And so that's the good thing that came out of the type of family I was raised in. Now, as a police officer, family crimes detective, sex crimes detective, I was involved in some horrible things that mothers did to their children. Some children didn't survive, and there's some children that did survive that on Mother's Day, I have a feeling this is a little bit rough. And so I don't know how to express the need for those of us that may know somebody that was in that situation to contact them, to touch them, to text them, to let them know that you're thinking of them on Mother's Day, and try to understand what it is that they need on Mother's Day. Maybe they just need to know that you care and you love them. And that you appreciate that they're in your life. And so on Mother's Day, I don't want to forget those people that I know, that I have experienced. I had kids that one of my very first calls to a homicide / suicide was for a family. I believe it was 4 children, if I'm not mistaken. One of the children had come home from school and found that their dad had shot the mother and then shot himself. And then the 4 children, were coming home from school. And then I arrived just as 2, I think, out of the 4 kids were coming in. And for whatever reason, based on the rank I had at the time, which was I was a rookie, it was in my first couple months of being a police officer, taking those children aside into another room and talking to them and talking about their school and their friends and that kind of stuff, to try to get their mind off of what was going on in the other room, which was the investigation of the homicide and suicide that had taken place. And thankfully, all those children grew up to graduate from college and become very successful people. I found that later just by accident. I was getting an award at the police department, and just so happens on the same day, a place called Orangewood Home, which is a place where children go when they've either their parents have been arrested or they've lost their parents for one reason or another, because of a car crash or suicide or homicide, they go to Orangewood Home, and that's where they stay until they get foster care or something like that. But on that night, when I was getting an award, we were the organization, the police association, was also recognizing Orangewood Home, and in my speech for my award, I mentioned that call because it's always stuck with me. One of the guys from Orangewood Home came up and said, "Hey, I know exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, they're on all of our flyers." And he showed me a flyer from Orangewood, and the grown-up children were the children that I had spent time with at that place. And so I can imagine that even today, as adults, that Mother's Day can be tough. That the thoughts that caused them to be taken back to that time. And then I think about just the other day, a friend of mine. Their son had died just a couple days ago, and I think about the mothers on Mother's Day who have children that they've lost to cancer or to suicide or car accidents or what have you, and just so sad. I've been seeing posts. I've been seeing posts from my friend about how much he loved his son, and it's tough to not want to reach out and ask, "How's your wife doing?" And I you don't know what to say, but I just want to think about moms who've lost their kids. Wow, that just hit me really hard. Why do I come on? Why don't I think about these things before I do them? So I think you know what I'm saying. So Mother's Day is complicated, is my title. Puts in there. Hey, David, I'm going to look at your message here really quick to get my mind off of some stuff here. So, I love you was rarely said in my house growing up too. I still struggle to say those words to anyone who is not my son. That is weird. And I know what you mean. I'm not sure who this is, but thank you for saying hello from Twitter. That's awesome. This Mother's Day does always seem to be complicated, but only if you allow it to be, right? Yeah, absolutely. And so I just wanted to come on, and I am sorry if I just because this is fairly fresh. And the friend that we worked together years ago, we haven't seen each other in many years, but I know him as a fantastic human being, and his wife, I'm sure, is as fantastic, which I may have met once or twice, but is as fantastic as he is, and it just feels so sad. I don't know the situation, but I know that it's making today very complicated for them. In a day that we're supposed to be celebrating mothers and spending time with their mothers. Now, coming back to mothers, and I have a lot of friends that are fantastic mothers. I see posts. I spend time with you, and again, I go back to the number one, the amazing, just the human being of the female gender, able to give birth and give life to something. The one good thing I can say, there's more than one good thing probably I could say about my ex-wife, but my ex-wife, who gave birth to 4 children, did it with no medication whatsoever, and I was happy about that. And I know it was hard on her the first time she did it, and there was a time where she would think maybe I made the wrong decision, but no medication, no epidural, nothing, absolutely nothing was done, and gave a natural birth. And I was thankful because it was just the way that it's supposed to be, right? It's the way that things should be. We are very careful about some other things that take place, of course, after you give birth, with immunizations, stuff like that. And we were very careful not to do that too early, and we didn't do it. But that she was able to do that, right? And then be so happy, and then have the child on her chest, and then begin to breastfeed right away. And that how that all works is just an amazing miracle. And I know not everybody has that ability to do things without medication. There's complications. There's things that happen with the umbilical cord, and all kinds of other things. And so I'm not saying that because you did that there's something wrong. I'm just saying that, given the perfect situation, I was grateful that she was able to do that. As a matter of fact, the 4th child that we had together, we gave right here where I'm sitting, is where we gave birth to that child, in a pool, and with family and neighbors sitting on the couch watching. She gave birth, and our great oh shoot, what do you call it? What do you call it? somebody knows. April knows. What do you call the woman who helps Jennifer was ours, and she was not home mom. What do you call that person? Shoot, I can't think of the name. I'm still kind of foggy from earlier, but anyway, she was fantastic. Jennifer was fantastic, and she a midwife. Thank you. Thank you, April. I know somebody would come up with it. The midwife was fantastic. I love her. We still talk today. Jennifer Stewart. She's one of my Facebook friends, and she's an amazing woman. And if you watch this, Jennifer, I just saw that you were in a traffic accident and you were injured fairly significantly, and I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'll be, just thinking about you and praying for you, and hopefully we can connect again and just talk through stuff. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you were in that traffic accident, but she was amazing. As a matter of fact, I was not for home birth when I was first suggested, because we have insurance. We have, the first 3 went through Kaiser Permanente, which, I've had my bad things happen in Kaiser Permanente, but all my experience with having children at Kaiser was fantastic. And especially when, my ex-wife was screaming at me and yelling at me and telling me, to stop touching her. And then, why aren't you touching me? And then, stop touching me. And then, why aren't you touching me? And then, I don't want to do that. But I want to do that. Right. You all know the thing, right? And then I would start giggling because I thought, wow, I don't know what to do. And then give me the exercise ball, and she'd be on the exercise ball. And then there's like this other stuff that we were doing, but how fun that was to give in the hospital. And we knew that if anything went wrong, that there were machines, there were, drugs that we could use if anything went wrong. And somebody that has experience with an umbilical cord that may be wrapped around one of the children's neck would be there to know what to do. In my home, would the midwife, would a midwife, I didn't know Jennifer at the time, would a midwife know what to do? Yeah, David, you did miss that. And so, but then I met Jennifer, and she was amazing. And it didn't take long for a few discussions with her to start to feel comfortable with it. And then it was, out of all the births, it was my favorite to do. Right where I'm sitting, exactly right where I'm sitting right now, is where we gave birth to Bo. The greatest kid on the planet, just so fantastic and loving and healthy kid, and smart and strong and funny. Right? He's not as funny as me, but he's pretty funny. And gave birth. And so in that, again, back to my thing. Sorry, I went off on a whole tangent there. Is that the seeing everything? Then the placenta, and then everything just happens the way it's supposed to happen, and then breastfeeding and all that kind of stuff was. It's truly an amazing miracle. And then that's just the beginning. Then they grow up, and then they make you cry, and they make you sad, and they make you angry, and they make you happy, and dealing with that and the emotions. And again, I know, as well as I think men too, go through some changes, chemistry wise, and learning and changing. I can tell you, I probably wasn't the best parent with my first child, who's now 26. I was a cop. I was a business owner. I was working all the time. I was very busy, but then I ended up with custody with her because of some situations where I got full custody when she was 6 years of age in the divorce. And I don't know that I did I don't know. I think I would have done better today than I did then. I think there were some things, some choices that I made, and some things that just didn't go well. Her and my ex-wife with the 4 kids, they didn't get along very well, and that was another terrible time that we went through. But I think that it's just, we live and learn, and we become better as we go. But women seem to, many times, most mothers are amazing, fantastic human beings that have a really special place in all their children's hearts and their husbands' hearts for all the work that they do and all the things that they do. And so I'm grateful for all those. I know many mothers who are amazing wives and parents to their children, and mothers to their children, and some grandmothers too. So this is, again, I just want to make sure, and first, acknowledge that there's people that find this day difficult for all the different reasons that I described. And there's probably another reasons that I can't think of right now, but those reasons that I brought up are reasons why we need to not forget them. I love seeing all the pictures of my friends that are posting, that they're at their mother's now, or, of them with their children, and the breakfasts that they're being made and having in bed, and all the wonderful pictures. Those are all fantastic. And I do love those. And I'm not putting down anything like that. Hopefully you understand that that's not what I do. I just want to bring awareness to the complication of the other side of things. If you weren't the best parent with your oldest daughter, it sure doesn't reflect in the relationship I see you have with her now as an adult. Yep. Yes, we love each other so much, and we spend a lot of time together when we can. Just the last 3 days, we've been building a table for her apartment. It's been fun, and just joking around. We both enjoy TikTok and a whole bunch of other stuff. We love the same music. She introduces me to new music, and then I love it, and then I pretend that I discovered it, and she gets so mad when I do that. I go, "Oh, I love that I discovered this band." She goes, I told you about that band. And so I would like to finish off by reading this poem, and I hope you don't mind my reading of a poem. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to get through. Thank you, April. The Aprils are together. Thank you, April. I appreciate that very much. And so I'm going to try to get through this. I put some music and some video together to play this video. And that I'll be done when this video ends, and my reading of the poem, it'll be the end of the show. So I appreciate you guys joining me, all the kind words that people have written. David Everett, I'm jealous. He's in Lake Havasu right now. Never takes me with him. No, never. Next time he asks me, he's like, "Hey, can you come to Havasu?" I'm gonna say, "No, I can't," because I'm usually pretty busy. And so thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you, and all of you that have a complicated experience with being a mother. I'm going to be definitely praying for you today about, making it through the day, and understand it's not your fault. It's not your fault. There's things that I surely could have done in my relationship with my mom later on. We didn't communicate for about 15 years before her death. So I think I saw her once at my dad's funeral, and that was it. And that was it. They never saw my 4 kids. My parents, even when they were alive, they never saw my 4 children, youngest children. Of course, they knew Courtney really well, but they never saw my 4 children. And so that's how complicated it was, just so you know. And there you have it. All right. Michelle and I were saying just the other day, what a great, oh, geez, thank you. Coming from you guys, that's fantastic. I appreciate that so much. Let me read one more before we leave. Wow, if I can get through it. Man, I am on the verge of just falling apart here. When Morgan was diagnosed with autism before age 3, which was 7 years ago, Mother's Day was very difficult for me. I mostly spent that day praying for it to be over quickly. Thank you for sharing that, April. I wish I could have got through it. I was going to try, but I couldn't do it. Oh my gosh. So can you tell that Mother's Day is a little bit difficult? It is. So let me bring this up and block my face as I wipe my tears. All right, I'm going to play the video. It has a little bit of music behind it. You may or may not be able to hear it, but this is for all you mothers that are amazing human beings. I've tried to write so many times, but it's been hard to say in rhymes. I'll try once more and hope you'll see just what your love has meant to me. Thank you for your pain at birth that brought me to my life on earth. Thanks for all the time you spent, for cuddles and your nourishment. Thank you for the stories read as I lay cozy in my bed. Thanks for your enlightenment to solve new mysteries life had sent. Thank you for the cures and care when sickness caught me unaware. Thanks for the tucking in tight and kisses on my head. Good night. Thanks for comfort when I cried and tissues used for tears you dried. Thanks for courage to go on, to see from night a day will dawn. Thanks for freedom that you gave to go outside the world to brave. Thank you for your friends, the friends I'd meet that helped with friendships I'd repeat. Thank you for your help with school and teaching me the golden rule. Thanks for your praise when I prevailed and understanding when I failed. Thanks for parties that you gave and birthday cards I tried to save. Thanks for meals I love so much and baking skills that few could touch. Thank you for your help to write my stories you helped bring to light. Thanks for helping talent surface that made me see my life had purpose. Thanks for tears when I left home so I could make it on my own. Thanks for tears when I returned, for visits that you long had yearned. But now, your life I loved has run its course, for time will take us all by force. Your love for me, not kept inside, and no conditions were applied. So thanks for all things, small and large, your love saw fit to do. No charge.